One Piece Chapter 758. We get yet another ridiculous, amazing snipe by the great Captain Usopp and the awakening of his observation Haki in a heated situation. This is another amazing Usopp moment in a myriad of other great ones in the history of One Piece, with a great tie-in to the rules established in the world, along with continued character development. Yet despite all of that, I've seen a fair amount of, "What an ass pull, plot power up via friendship, that's so lame." Let me tell you why that's just not true. Here's what we'll do. Let's make the comparison to Kobe. Kobe unlocks observation Haki at Marineford, so right there we have a better comparison to make compared to, say, Luffy. Not to mention, like Usopp, Kobe isn't exactly the strongest person in the world at that point. This also highlights the fact that you don't necessarily have to be the strongest fighter to truly unlock your latent Haki. It's all about being resolute in your convictions. So let's go back for a second. Remember how Kobe unlocked his Haki? Marineford is in total chaos and there are powerful pirates and Navy members clashing and dying all around him. Even after so much death, they all continue to fight for what seems to be no good reason. Under the stress of the heated battles around him and the distress at the needless loss of life, Kobe gains access to the first form of Haki. By unlocking this, he can hear and feel all the trauma around him, and this only intensifies his feelings towards the whole conflict. So here we have a situation where someone desperately wants to stop or change what's going on around them, and the nature of this unlocks a form of Haki. We're later given a brief explanation in the manga by the Marine Doctor, where he states that Haki can both be brought out by intense training or through the shock of something extremely intense. Knowing this, let's now look at Usopp. He desperately wants to protect his captain, not simply because he feels it's his duty, but because he genuinely cares for Luffy's well-being. Not only that, but he is painfully aware of Sugar's abilities. As a result, he understands he's the only one who can help Luffy make that final push to Doflamingo's doorstep. As if the situation weren't stressful enough, the impending danger closing in on them in the form of the townsfolk only accentuates the need to get it done as quickly as possible. In this time of danger, Usopp is completely serious, and again shows us all that when the time comes, he'll step up and do whatever he can to overcome the obstacles in front of him. He might seem like a fraidy cat most of the time, but you can't question his resolve when he gets into those situations. Under the stress of this moment and his desire to make sure his captain can fight the man who's put everyone through so much trouble, he awakens his Haki. Obviously, observation Haki is just about perfect for Usopp considering his position in the crew. It's not as if he wasn't already extremely perceptive though. Remember on Punk Hazard where he heard Monet behind them when Zoro, Luffy, and Robin failed to notice? While that moment was overall meant to be funny, and Zoro and Luffy weren't engaging their Haki at the time, it highlights the amazing senses Usopp already had at his disposal. In this way, observation Haki is only accentuating and heightening those skills to another level. But the reasons he unlocked these abilities aren't out of nowhere, is what I'm trying to convey here. There's a perfectly valid explanation for him gaining these abilities when we compare it to other characters. And even if it's a different kind of Haki, let's look at Luffy. In all the scenarios outside the very first time he uses it, his Conqueror's Haki comes about because the situation at hand is extremely stressful. Not only that, but he wishes to change whatever's happening in front of him. Haki is your willpower. Like, literally, it means willpower. And being strong-willed in the face of adversity initially brings these powers forth. Now, based on all this, we can see that there's other examples that match up to Usopp's experience, and there's been foreshadowing that hinted at him eventually getting this form of Haki. In short, Usopp's a badass, and he's got great character development, and him gaining these abilities is just another great moment to add to the list.